You were taught a simple rule to be a good person. The rule was to be helpful, to be available, to be agreeable. You were taught that the most virtuous word you could ever say is the word yes. Yes, I can help you with that. Yes, I have time. Yes, of course, no problem at all. Each yes felt like a small act of goodness. Each one a small deposit into the bank of your self-worth. You became the reliable one. The go-to person. The one who never lets anyone down. You built an entire identity around the beautiful, noble idea of being helpful. And you are now a prisoner in a fortress you built for yourself. Your calendar is full, but your life is empty. You are exhausted, resentful, and spread so thin that you have nothing left for yourself. Your own goals, your own dreams, your own peace. They are all starving to death, while you are busy feeding everyone else. And the cruelest irony of all, the people you work so hard to help do not respect you more for your availability. They respect you less, because someone who says yes to everything is communicating a quiet, devastating truth. Their own time is worthless. The ancient Stoics, the masters of personal sovereignty, knew a secret that our modern, people-pleasing world has forgotten. The power of your yes is directly proportional to the power and frequency of your no. A yes that comes from a person who cannot say no is not a choice. It is a symptom. It is a weakness. It has no value. Today, we are going to perform a radical act of self-creation. We are going to teach you how to say the most difficult, most feared, and most powerful word in the human language. We are going to teach you the sacred power of no. Look at your own life with the detached clarity of an engineer looking at a failing machine. Think of all the times you said yes, when your body, your mind, and your soul were screaming no. The extra project at work you took on, even though you were already drowning. The social event you agreed to attend, when all you craved was a moment of silence. The emotional burden of a friend you carried, even when you had no strength left to carry your own. Each of those acts of kindness was a small act of self-betrayal. Each one was a quiet statement that someone else's priorities were more important than your own. You thought you were being a good friend, a good employee, a good person. But what you were actually doing was teaching the world how to use you. You were handing out a user manual for your own exploitation, and you are surprised that the world read it. The problem is not that you are a kind person. The problem is that you have confused genuine kindness with a compulsive need to be liked. You have confused generosity with a lack of boundaries. The Stoics understood this difference. True generosity is a conscious, deliberate choice made from a position of strength and abundance. What you are practicing is not generosity. It is a form of self-abandonment, driven by the deep-seated fear of being seen as selfish, as difficult as not a team player. This is not a virtue. This is a disease, and the word no is the cure. This compulsive need to say yes is a deeply ingrained psychological program. To override it, we must first understand its flawed source code. It is built upon three great, flawed pillars. They are the lies that keep you available and keep you powerless. We will now demolish them. The first pillar is the lie that saying no is an act of rejection. From childhood, we are conditioned to believe that no is a negative word. It is a word of denial. It is a word that disappoints people. It feels harsh. It feels unkind. We associate it with conflict and disapproval. And because we are social creatures, desperate to belong, we learn to avoid this word at all costs. This is a fundamental and crippling misunderstanding. A strategic no is not an act of rejection against the other person. It is an act of affirmation for yourself. It is a declaration of your own values. It is a statement of your own priorities. When you say no to a request that drains you, you are not saying, "I reject you." You are saying, "I accept myself. I accept my own need for rest. I accept the importance of my own work. I accept the limits of my own energy." Think of your time and your energy as a finite resource. Imagine you have 100 units of energy each day. That is all you get. Every yes is a withdrawal. A yes to a project you don't care about is 10 units. A yes to a draining social event is 20 units. A yes to listening to a friend's endless complaints is 15 units. Soon, you have spent all your energy on other people's agendas, and you have 0 units left for the things that truly matter to you. Your own goals, your own well-being, your own peace. A powerful, strategic no is the guardian of this precious resource. It is the act of building a wall around your time and energy, not to keep the world out, but to ensure that you and you alone are the one who decides how your life force is spent. Every yes to something unimportant is a silent, implicit no to something that is important. You just didn't have the courage to say it out loud. You said no to your family, to your health, to your dreams, by saying yes to the endless, trivial demands of the world. The Stoics knew that a person who is not the master of their own time is a slave. The word no is the key to your own emancipation. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. The second pillar of this prison is the lie that saying yes makes people respect you. You believe that by being the helpful, available, go-to person, you are earning admiration and loyalty. You believe people will see your sacrifice and value you for it. The opposite is true. Indiscriminate availability does not breed respect. It breeds entitlement. When you are always available, your presence is no longer a choice. It is an expectation. It becomes your default setting. And like the air we breathe, it is taken for granted until it is gone. Your time, your energy, your help may lose all their value because they have no cost. They are always free, and people do not value what is free. Think of it in terms of a simple economic law. Scarcity creates value. A diamond is valuable because it is rare. Water in a desert is valuable because it is scarce. A person's yes is only valuable when their no is a real and present possibility. When people know you are capable of saying no, when they have seen you protect your boundaries before, your yes becomes a gift. It becomes a conscious choice. It means, out of all the things I could be doing with my precious, limited time, I am choosing to give a piece of it to you. This kind of yes has weight. It has gravity. It lands with a force that is felt and appreciated. The person who says yes to everything is a vending machine. You put in a request, you get a predictable result. They are useful, but you do not respect a vending machine. You use it. The person who says no when necessary is a fortress. To be granted access is a privilege. They are not merely useful. They are valuable. Your compulsive need to be helpful has not made you respected. It has made you a utility. The path to true respect is not through endless accommodation. It is through the strategic and disciplined establishment of your own worth. And that worth is defined, first and foremost, by your courage to say no. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. Epictetus. When you say yes without thinking, your words have no meaning. When you learn the meaning of no, your yes finally begins to matter. The third and most subtle pillar is the lie that saying no is selfish. This is the great weapon that is used against you. The moment you try to set a boundary, you will be accused of this sin. You're being selfish. You only think about yourself. And this accusation is designed to trigger your deepest fear, the fear of being a bad person. And so you fold. You surrender your boundary to prove you are not selfish. And the cycle begins again. This is a profound manipulation of language. Let us use the cold, hard logic of the Stoics to deconstruct it. What is the true definition of selfishness? Selfishness is to demand from others what they do not wish to give. It is to place your own needs and desires above the well-being and autonomy of another. Now, look at the dynamic again. When someone asks you for your time and you say no, who is truly being selfish? Is it you for protecting your own finite resources? Or is it them for being angry that you will not sacrifice your well-being to serve their agenda? The person who demands your yes and is angered by your no is the true egoist in the equation. They are communicating that their needs are more important than yours. They are communicating that you do not have the right to your own life. To say no is not selfish. It is an act of self-preservation. It is the baseline requirement for a healthy and sustainable life. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have. To constantly sacrifice your own energy, your own health, and your own peace for the sake of others is not a virtue. It is a slow, methodical form of self-destruction. And a person who has destroyed themselves is of no use to anyone. A truly kind and generous person is not one who says yes to everyone. A truly generous person is one who has built their own life with such discipline and care that they have a genuine surplus of energy, time, and peace to give. Their generosity is real because it comes from a place of abundance, not from a place of desperate need to be liked. The path to becoming truly generous begins with the courage to be selfish enough to build a life worth giving from. Now we arrive at the great, liberating truth that will become your new operating system. You have been living your life under the false belief that you have two choices. Be a good, helpful person who says yes, or be a selfish, unkind person who says no. This is the false choice that has kept you a prisoner. The opposite of saying yes is not saying no. The opposite of saying yes is having the freedom to choose. That is the entire game. The goal is not to become a person who always says no. The goal is to become a person whose yes is a true, conscious, deliberate choice, not an automatic, fearful reflex. And that freedom, that power of choice, is only possible when no is a real, available, and practiced tool in your arsenal. The no is what gives the yes its meaning. Now we move from deconstruction to construction, from the disease to the cure. 3 practical Stoic rituals to break your addiction to yes and to forge the sacred power of no into your very being. The first ritual, the strategic delay. For the next week, you will not give an immediate yes to any request. You will master the art of the pause. When someone asks you for something, you will take a breath, and you will use one of these simple, powerful phrases. Let me check my schedule and get back to you. I need to think about that for a moment. Let me see what's possible. This pause is your sanctuary. It breaks the automatic people-pleasing script. In that space, you are no longer reacting. You are choosing. You give yourself a moment to ask the real question. Do I truly want to do this? And do I have the resources to do it without resentment? This small delay is the birthplace of your freedom. The second ritual, the low-stakes rehearsal. Saying no is a muscle. It must be trained. You will start with small, low-stakes exercises. The next time a cashier asks if you want to donate to a cause, and you don't, say a clear, calm, no, thank you. The next time a pop-up asks for your email, click no without hesitation. The next time a friend offers you a drink and you don't want one, say, no, I'm good, thanks. These are small, almost trivial acts, but they are repetitions. You are teaching your nervous system that saying no is not a catastrophe. The world does not end. The other person does not hate you. You are simply stating a preference. This builds the strength and the confidence for the high-stakes situations that truly matter. The third ritual, the audit of resentment. At the end of each day, you will perform a quiet audit. You will ask yourself, at any point today, did I feel a flash of resentment? And if you did, you will trace it back to its source. And you will almost always find that the resentment is rooted in a moment where you said yes, when you wanted to say no. You will not judge yourself for this. You will simply observe it. This resentment is a signal. It is your inner self telling you that a boundary was crossed. You will listen to this signal. It will become your guide. It will show you exactly where, in your life, your no is most desperately needed. This practice turns your resentment from a poison that you swallow into a diagnostic tool that you use. You are not the world's servant. You are the sovereign of your own life. Your time, your energy, and your peace are your kingdom. And the word no is the guardian at the gate. It is the great wall of your citadel. The fear that people will leave if you say no is the voice of the prisoner. The truth is, some people will leave. The takers, the manipulators, the ones who are only there for what you could provide. Let them leave. Your no did not push them away. It revealed them for what they always were. It is a filter that removes those who do not respect your sovereignty and attracts those who do. A life of constant, resentful accommodation is not a life of kindness. It is a life of quiet desperation. The path to true, powerful, and sustainable generosity begins with the courage to guard your own well. Only then will you have clear, clean water to offer to a thirsty world. The gate is now yours to command. If you are ready to continue this training, to become the master of your own kingdom, then subscribe to the Stoic Citadel. This is not a place for people pleasers. It is a training ground for sovereigns. Finally, go to the comments and declare your new power. Write, I am the gatekeeper. Your training continues. You have learned to say no to the world. Now, you must learn to say it to yourself. Your next briefing is on the screen now. Click it to deconstruct the inner source of this destructive habit.